Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's CITI program webinar. Today's topic is why AI companies should care about ethics, and it is presented by Dr. Ryan Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins is a full professor of philosophy and the associate director of the Ethics and Emerging Sciences Group at California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo. He studies the ethics of emerging technologies, especially automation, cyber war, autonomous weapons, and driverless cars.
Here are the objectives that have guided the design of this webinar. So after the end of this, I hope that you'll be able to think about the concepts of intrinsic and instrumental value, to think about why we value different things. Second, we'll be applying some analogies of ethics as engineering and ethics as bird spotting to realistic use cases. I'll show you a little bit about formulating strategies for operationalizing ethical principles for AI. And then lastly, explain the role of ethics in business, illustrating how the contributions of ethicists can clarify conceptual confusion. So this first section, I've been giving the argument that good ethics is good business. I think the opposite is clearly true, right? The converse is clearly true. Bad ethics is clearly bad business. When companies make mistakes like this, and for example, training an AI on data that's been problematically sourced or data that demonstrates other kinds of biases, whether it be race, gender, socioeconomic class, anything like that, the public by now, I think, is starting to grow fatigued, and they're starting to grow frustrated by companies that are making those kinds of mistakes. We've been seeing this coverage for long enough now that I don't think that companies can claim plausible deniability. We know better. We have a fairly good understanding by now of the kinds of mistakes that AI systems can make and the kinds of mistakes that have ethically substantial consequences. So these are not just embarrassing rates of false positives or something like that, but we're talking about mistakes that manifest in a way that have ethically significant consequences, perhaps for minorities or people of color, perhaps for other groups that have faced historical injustices in the past. And by now the public knows, look, it's not enough to say, we couldn't have expected this. It's not enough anymore to say, we're still learning how to build these systems responsibly. We're getting closer and closer to having a really robust science of thinking about how to identify the causes of those problems, those risks, and how to mitigate those very carefully.
In addition, I invite everyone to review our content offerings regularly, as we are continually adding new courses and webinars that may be of interest to you all.